without working on Wall Street for 20 plus years or having an Ivy League degree. Sound kind of fun, yeah? All right, let's dive into it. So first off, results disclaimer. What I'm sharing is my personal opinion. Everyone raise your hand with me. Say with me. I am disclaimed. All right, there we go. Okay, we feel all right. So I'm not selling securities. Our results are usually haven't vetted every result that we show here, but it's kind of cool. I've tried 2 funds, like I said before. I won't talk to myself too much, but this is what we do. So we're talking about today. A fund is the best vehicle to scale your business or investments. Any business owners in here? Who owns a business? Anybody investors in here? Other hands or both? Give me 2 hands if you're both. Here we're talking about scalability today. I'm not going to teach you how to invest or how to do that. I'm talking about scaling, that kind of stuff. You guys follow along with me? Say aye. All right, so let's get into it. So my goal for our time today is to talk about how I started 2 funds in my 20s. And what millions of dollars without a track record, without working on Wall Street, without some fancy Ivy League degree, how to launch it. Sound pretty good? Now, starting a fund, I believe, is the most lucrative business vehicle in the world. What am I doing by vehicle? I'll tell you my story in a minute. I won't go through the whole thing, but when I was younger, I was shopping vehicles. I started 6 businesses my first years of college. I got to college, I started all these businesses. I did a Chinese tutoring business. We built websites for people. I did a Forex company. I wholesaled 2 houses. Anybody on that grind, like you watch YouTube videos, you just copy the businesses on YouTube? Come on, anybody with me? Give me a little raise of hand. Anybody done that before? That was me. I was 21 years old doing this. And then finally I figured out, I gotta be more intentional about the vehicles that I look at, the vehicles that I go into business. Because there's some business models or vehicles that you get into that you could be the best in the world, right? You could be the best concrete layer in the city, in Salt Lake City. But your margins are still kind of thin, right? Versus they're the best restaurant. Some restaurants do really well, but you know what I'm talking about? Some businesses have really thin margins. I said, I want to be in a business where you have really big margins and the growth is exponential. Because you could be the best concrete layer in the world, but you're only contained to Salt Lake City, right? Or how far the teams can travel. It's a lot harder to expand. So I said, I want to have a vehicle like this. Anybody follow along with me? Say aye. Does that make a little bit of sense? Okay. So these are, looks like my slides got messed up in here. It's all right, we'll look at them. They're kind of covered by, so these are some guys that run investment funds, and they're kind of covered up by that thing. I don't know if we can fix this, but Steve Cohen, 1.6 billion, kind of hits the punchline. But these are all, Jim Simon's over $1 billion, Ken Griffin, all here. These are their 2020 earnings alone from one income source. This isn't, like, you know when people's net worths go up and down? Like Ray Dalio, or Steve, whoever it is, Elon Musk, name the person. Or their stock price goes up, Tesla's stock price goes up, and his net worth jumps to $10 billion. Then it drops, and his net worth drops by $10 billion. You guys follow along? I'm not talking about net worth. These are income from one source alone. You know, like millionaires have 7 sources of income? These guys run hedge funds and different types of funds. Steve Cohen at the top made $1.6 billion last year from one income source from his fund paying it. It's not net worth, not separate investments. That's over $100 million a month to him. This is not his company. That is take home to him. Anybody even know what you would do with $100 million? I don't even know what I would do with $100 million in a month. And to put that in perspective at the bottom, you could buy a Bugatti. He could buy a Bugatti January 1st at noon. That's how much money he's already made for the year. Kind of puts it in perspective. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about in this world of funds. Now, if you feel like you can't do it, I started my first one to get my front tooth knocked out, and we'll skip through my story. By the way, I want to do a little poll. Who's heard me on Jeremiah's podcast, my story a little bit? Okay, sounds good. We won't dive through that same stuff. I want to give you guys some new stuff today. Sound fair enough? So this is the world we're talking about, the world of investments, and we run a company called Investment Fund Secrets. We help people, I guess my slides got messed up in the 80s, guys. It's all right, though. We'll roll with it. We have over 10,000 students. We help people launch and scale funds. That's what we do. And we have a number of coaches and team members. We have 35 people in our company now that specifically now just help people do this. And anybody, I feel like this group is my audience. I love hanging out with entrepreneurs because I feel like you guys are we're like the same people. I went online and saw there's no one who taught this. There's no one who taught funds. It was just this hole. And I was fortunate enough, I'll tell you guys my story in a minute, to have an incredible family, a brother and a dad who run incredible funds. And I said, let's do this, let's solve this problem. And so now we have over 10,000 students. We've got, this guy raised $500 million to trade index funds in 18 months, went from 0 to 500 million, which is crazy. We have other people, I'll just go through these really quickly, that raised hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. $10 million for his hedge fund, $65 million for a real estate fund, $3 million or $9 million for a crypto fund. Amika built 15 sustainable food companies, $2 million for his hedge fund, $5 million to flip 72 homes in 1 year. These are people, I just get these messages all the time from people. This is the kind of stuff we do. So, anybody want to learn kind of how we do this and how to do this? Sound fair enough? Okay, if you're with me, say aye. Aye. Let's get into it. By the way, Amazon people, we have guys in our group that use a fund to scale their Amazon businesses. And I'm going to tell that in just a few minutes how they actually use a fund. These guys went from $50 grand to $3 million in a year. And had a huge exit and actually paid off all their investors and kept all the equity of their company. It's really cool. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Sound good? I see some people like, please just tell me now. No, we're going to tease it for 1 second. So, this works for people like crypto, trading, hedge funds, real estate, the whole 9 yards. Looks like my slides cut all this stuff. It's all right, we're good. We'll roll with it. So, we're going to go fast today. Now, for people that how I got kind of into this. Like I said before, I started these companies. I grew up in, I would say, a very average household. It was a nice household here just in San Diego, just nearby. And when I was in college, my dad finally grabbed me. He's like, Bridger, you start all these businesses. And he kind of grabs me and goes, you're kind of like a chicken with your head cut off. And I want you to go meet with one of my business partners. So that's okay, I'll go meet with whoever. I was a young hustler, like I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever it takes. So I go over and I drive to this guy's house. And it's this gorgeous, white, beautiful home. And I pull up this just beautiful thing. And we sit down, start to talk. And I finally, when I asked him, like, how did you get all of this? So he's got the cars, he's got the pool, he's got the, just everything, right? And he goes, Bridger, I'm sorry, I'm walking from the speakers, these guys are meeting me. we started an investment fund, that's how we did all this. And he goes, right now we manage just over $8 billion in real estate. And today they're over 27 billion. And to put that in perspective, that's 10 times bigger than Cardone Capital. That's how big these guys are. You grab Cardone fans in here? That's how much real estate multifamily they're buying. Wow, blown away. So I'm sitting with this guy and I go, well, can you teach me? I've always heard find a mentor, find people that coach you and educate you. He says, can you teach me? He says, Bridger, go talk to your dad. Your dad knows about this way more than I do. And I said, no, my dad's kind of poor. We live in a smaller house. You're obviously super rich. I'd love to learn from you. And he goes, sorry to break it to you, Bridger, but you and your dad make about the same amount of money. And my chin dropped on the floor. I was like, huh? Like, come again? He said, yeah, we're pretty much equal business partners in this thing. And I was like, huh? And I leave the guy's house. I go straight to my dad's house. I was like, Dad, what the heck? Like, what's going on? You got a fund that's 10 times bigger than Grant Cardone? And I can't order dessert at dinner because it's too expensive? Like, what's going on? And anyways, my dad kind of laughs and he goes, he goes, we're doing okay. He goes, I wanted to raise kids with value money and have handouts and things like that. And he goes, yeah, we're doing pretty well. And long story short, I sat down every Sunday, I drive with my dad, we sit on the whiteboard, he'd teach me about funds, how funds work, how they're started, how they're scaled, the whole 9 yards. And they actually just IPO'd, they had a huge exit, it was awesome. And now he's retired and just chilling. And I was 22 years old, and I had this great idea. I was like, I'm going to launch a fund. And I was working at a company, inside of my company. I was an intern, I was in college at BYU, and I go, man, I can start a fund. And I go talk to these guys, the owners, and they come back to me, and I'm like, shit, this is going to be awesome. And anyways, long story short, I got a great idea, and I hit this roadblock. Like, oh, crap. Now I've got to raise money. That's what we're talking about today, is raising capital. It's like, shoot, who's going to believe a 22-year-old that doesn't have a track record, isn't graduated from college, who's going to invest, right? And I finally thought, well, shoot, my dad. My dad would invest, right? Like, obviously, my dad would love to invest in our fund. So I decided I was going to go pitch my dad for money. It was a late Sunday night. I walked to my dad's office. I walked right in, just like this. I sit down. He's working at his home office on something. I said, Dad. I sit down. I said, I want to thank you so much for helping me. Because he really did. He mentored me and coached me through this whole thing. And I sat down next to him and I said, Dad, and in my best pitch voice possible, I looked at him right in the square and I said, how would you like to be our first investor in your fund? Just like that. And I actually put my hand down like the whole thing, like the best sales pitch I had. And my dad kind of laughed. He said, Bridger. He goes, I have the money to invest, but if I invest in your fund, I would ruin the experience of you raising money on your own. And he said, no. And it was a big, tough love moment between me and my dad. He said, your first investor is your hardest investor to find. If I invest in your fund, it will be a crutch that you'll never be able to recover from. And he kicked me out. I kind of walked out with my tail between my legs a little bit, and I said, screw it, I'm going to take him up on the challenge. And I went out and we launched our first fund at 22. I raised a whopping $49,000 from 7 investors. Clap it up for that! That's TV. That's bad. That was not good, but when you guys know about money, it's like, that's not good at all. But it was enough to get started. We were doing these small microloans. It was enough to get started. We launched our first fund. It was incredible. We got our first investors at 64% return on money. And I was now small amounts, but good return, right? And I was just so excited. And then we launched our second fund. That fund did really well. We ran that for about 3.5, 4 years. Raised $40 million out of that fund. We just sold that last year. Right now we're launching it. We have a new fund coming out in a couple weeks in crypto. So me and Daniel, we're launching a crypto fund. We've raised quite a bit of money, and it's pretty fun. So that's what we're doing. So what is this world of fun? What are we talking about here? I'm going to skip forward. I don't know where. My slides got messed up, so I kind of just abandoned them. But here, okay, if you guys ever heard of this is the world of private equity hedge funds. So I was sitting down at my desk, we talking. What are these types of funds? So in the most basic sense, what a fund is actually really interesting because I study and teach this. These are all run almost exactly the same way. Anybody heard of these types of vehicles before? You hear them like Forbes stuff. Anyway, raise your hands. Have you heard of this kind of stuff before? These guys all run the exact same way. This is the basic structure. All it is, the most basic sense, is a pool of money. Investors put money into that pool. People like me and you as fund managers, we grab that money, we go invest into assets, we buy and sell these assets, whatever it is. Whenever those assets make money, it flows back to the pool and then gets split between the pool and us. Right? Not too complex. This is like the same business model that's been around for 2,000 years. I mean, Christopher Columbus was like, yo, give me some money, we'll go to the New World, we'll conquer, we'll explore, we'll get gold, we'll bring it back, we'll split it with the kingdoms, right? He pitched all these countries. I mean, this is like the oldest model. Now, they put new vehicles around this. A Reg D, 506D fund, or 506C, or a 3C1 fund, whatever it is, right? We can talk about that in a minute. This is the thing. So now, the only difference between this, so these, back to these, what's the difference between all these? The difference is what they invest into. Only difference. So, private equity, it's in the name. Actually, we'll start with real estate. That's the easiest one. A real estate fund buys and sells real estate. Right? It's not that, we'll get past the speaker, not that crazy, right? All real estate fund does is you get money, you buy real estate, whenever real estate makes money, it goes back to the fund and gets split between investors. A private equity fund, same pool of money, same model, all it does is you buy and sell private ownership of businesses. So there's a company called Sycamore Partners on Wall Street, they manage about $8 billion. They own Nine West Shoes, Aeropostale, Staples. Last year they were trying to buy Victoria's Secret. You know, all those companies are owned by the same company. This is the world of private equity. A lot of the hotels down on the strip are all owned by the same company. A lot of the media companies you see, and Tommy Lauren will talk about some of them, are all owned by the same private equity groups. The players behind the scene. And you can we're going to talk about Amazon in just a second, you can buy into private equity to this. Now, we have people doing this on small scale that buy up their competitors, competing restaurants, they'll buy up all their competitors. Now, the guy has a gun store. He goes and wants to buy up all the other gun stores near us, private equity, it's local private equity. Is that kind of making sense? Hedge funds. Let me go back and see if this works. Alright, we'll just leave it here. I guess it's switch now. Hedge funds. Same concept, they buy and sell public securities. Stocks, options, bonds, forex, crypto. Same pool of money, same concept. That's not that hard. Every time you hear these big words that seem so elusive, this world of private equity or hedge funds, it's not that complex. Once you break it down, make it simple, it's not too bad. You guys, if you follow along, say aye. Alright, we'll see if we can get through here. We'll walk through this a little bit. So, now, I got started my first one, we got it going, and we had some pretty good slides, you can tell. We'll keep going. We raised our capital, and we brought in here, let's see if this goes. Yeah, it's all. Anyways, okay, so we'll come to here. So let's talk about the actual mechanics of a fund, what it looks like. Okay? Okay, so this works for all these different types of funds. So now, is there anybody a house flipper in here? Any house flippers in the house? Okay, one. Clap it up for our house flippers. Anybody else? One or two? Okay, I'm going to give you guys a great example. Okay, we got a few more after the clap. Oh yeah, me too. I flip houses. Okay, we're talking about house flipping. Okay, it's syndication versus funds. Now, I'm kind of giving the pros and cons of what it looks like. So a syndication is, I'm going to give you a basic overview of what they typically do, okay? So a syndicator will find a great house, They'll go raise money from investors or banks or themselves, whoever, put money together, they put it into an LLC, they fund the house, they go buy the house, and they flip the house, and they pay everybody back. Let's see, these slides are not working very well, but you kind of get the loop. I call it a syndication loop, okay? And I have a buddy, a guy in my firm, named Brent. He came in and he's like, yo, that's what we do, we syndication loops. And we flip about 4 houses a year. That's pretty good, right? 4 houses a year, average household makes like $50,000 to $70,000 a year. Making $200,000 a year, it's a pretty good income. He came work with us. He went from flipping 4 houses a year. This year he flipped 72 houses. Why? Because we bill him the fund model, which is right here. So instead of every time you find a new house or a new product, you gotta go, okay, you're calling all the phones, get everybody, okay, we're gonna get money in, we gotta set up a new LLC, new bank accounts, move the money in, we get it in. We set up the fund once. We raise capital once. So that first step's the same. We raise the capital, we put it into a vehicle, general partner, limited partnership structure, and now we can do as many deals as we want. And so imagine for your householders, would you win more deals or less deals if you had $7 million sitting in the bank ready to close whenever you got a good deal? Would you win more deals or less deals? Probably more, right? Would you get discounts a little bit on deals? Maybe, right? It's like a lot of people, give me 30 days to close or 45 days. It's like, no, I've got cash to make right now, we can close on Friday. It's funny, I talk to these even big funds that manage billions of dollars. They say they'll win deals 3 to 6% cheaper than the other offers. Why? So literally, it's a $120 million offer. They come in at 110, and they still win the deal. Because it's not just about price, it's about terms. Yeah, we have some money, but we have proven funds, we can close. We can close on your timeline. We're not trying to syndicate money together. You guys follow along? If you're with me, say aye. So that's the world of funds. That's why funds are so scalable. So let's get to the Amazon example here. So this is one of our guys that did this in e-commerce. Okay? Same thing, raised a pot of money. We'll use this as an example. Like you can see here. So he raised $250,000, went out and bought 5 Amazon stores for $50,000 a pop. And he'd find these young bucks that were renting a store and like, I'll buy your store for $25,000, $30,000, $40,000. I'm like, sweet. I'd love to take it. Grouped them all together. Within 1 year, all those stores were producing $350,000 in net free cash flow. So what he did was he took that money, paid back all of his original investors, plus interest, plus like 20-25%. So they were happy. Now we got a 25% return this year. Sweet. He keeps all the stores. You guys going along with me? He keeps all 5 stores. Now he's got a enterprise value of $3 to $4 million. It's net free cash flow, $350,000 a year. That's working smarter, right? Not harder. And they're now scaling. They just raised a new round. I think they raised about $11 million. They're doing this. They're buying up stores in droves, bringing them to one group, and they're scaling them, and they pay out their investors. Who would like to do that? You're with me. Say aye. Oh, that's cool, right? So that's in the world of funds. So we talk about, we teach, and I know I am short on time here. This is kind of what we do, right? And so now I want to talk to you guys as entrepreneurs as well. And there's a unique breed of person. That's why I like having rooms like this. There's a unique type of people that come. Any fans of Al? Here in a book called The Entrepreneur Personality Type. And he has 3 things in there that he talks about I'll say most entrepreneurs have as an innate core part of their personality. Number 1, he says they have innate motivation. Right? You have something inside you that just keeps you going. You have that thing in your brain that won't let you sleep at night. Anybody give me a raise hand and follow along. You know what I mean? That thing that you just can't turn off at night? Because that's what a lot of entrepreneurs have. And then the best part is, we go, why wouldn't you want that? Sounds awesome, right? We don't want to turn it off. We want this thing to keep going. It's our best asset, right? Number 2, we knew we were different. Anybody feel that? When you're young, you have this moment of like, I'm bound for more than this. I don't want the status quo. You can end my slides as well, thank you. Because they're all broken here. I don't want the status quo. I want something more. Anybody else feel that? If you're with me, say aye. Aye. And then finally, he said number 3. So he goes, all entrepreneurs have this call to contribution. We feel a calling to give back, to give more, to change the world, to change what's going on. Anybody feeling that? We want to improve it. We don't want to just improve our lives. We want to improve our lives and everyone else around us. We want everybody to win. We want to hire employees. We want to feed families. Who's got employees in here? Who's got at least one employee that you put on payroll, a virtual assistant, somebody that you pay? You're creating jobs. We ran our numbers last year. I created 25 jobs last year. That was weird. End of the year, I was like, that's a weird metric. We literally, out of thin air, we found problems. I created 25 jobs last year. It's like, shoot, when you watch the news, man, our country's so messed up. Guess what saves it? It's entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs, literally the backbone of this country, provide jobs, our economy, finance, everything flows through because entrepreneurs took things personally. Great example is Elon Musk. One of his new companies, a lot of people are talking about Starlink. So right now we have a problem in the world. 2 billion people don't have access to internet. 2 billion. A lot of them have smartphones, but they don't have high-speed internet. They have to go to a coffee shop or somewhere else. Instead of writing a check, which most people do, I'll write a check to charity, he took it personally. He launched a company called Starlink. They filed for 30,000 satellites, a patent for 30,000 satellites. They're going to launch, and they've already, I think they're halfway there. They've launched almost half of them. That they are putting around the globe to give the world high-speed internet. Guess what that does for those 2 billion people that they call unbankable? These are the people that are in third world countries that are really smart entrepreneurs. I have a bunch of guys in my group that do third world country type of funds. They take money, they do microfinance, they go to these countries. They'll inject $200 to an entrepreneur, and it 5 to 10x's their income. It's incredible. They go from, there's a book called A Billion Entrepreneurs. It's an incredible book. It talks about there's these entrepreneurs that just don't have access to high-speed internet. Entrepreneurs take it personally. Elon Musk said, screw it. I'm not donating money. I'm going to go build 30,000 satellites. We're going to give high-speed internet to all these people, and they will lift themselves out of poverty. They will create their own economy. They will change the world. If you're with me, say aye. Does that make a little bit of sense? Okay, so I want you guys to stand up real quick. Stand up. We're going to end with this. I want you guys to think for a second. Stand up, shake down a little bit. Hands gonna hang down for a second a little bit. Think about your business right now. Think about your family, the people around you. Think about how your business impacts those around you. And the people that your clients, your customers. Because it really does. If clients are paying you for something, you're providing value to them. It's like economics 101. Think about that. Think about the people you've hired. Your employees, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Think about how your entrepreneur spirit has changed just that little pool of lives. And I want to tell you a quick story. It's a story of a young man. It's 1940s and actually into the 50s. He worked for JCPenney, which was a huge supplier at the time, became a regional manager, and was doing very well. Comes with this idea that we want to create these stores in rural areas. Because we had urban areas, we had downtown areas, we had like department stores and convenience stores. He's like, let's do ones to the country folk. There's people in all these country towns that they want cheap, reliable goods. Let's do this. And he pitches it to JCPenney. They say, no, this is crazy. Like, we don't want you. So he leaves as a regional. He's doing pretty well. Leaves to another company, same kind of product as JCPenney. Pitches him saying, he actually came up with the idea of let's do a regional distribution center with 5 or 6 stores around it. And we'll have a distribution center, make it very efficient, and we can provide all this. They said no. At this moment, Sam, is his name, had to decide. You can key that up. He had to decide, do I want to just follow the experts, follow what everyone's telling me, or do I want to go out and do this? Because there's about half the country that have access to cheap, reliable goods. In 1962, Sam Walden launched Walmart in Arkansas. 1962, they launched Walmart. First couple years were rough for Sam. By 1970, they had over 800 stores. 1990s, they were the largest company in America. When in 1992, so at today, they employ over 1 million people, have jobs at Walmart. He has brought countless people out of poverty, giving them cheap, reliable foods, goods, services, jobs to pretty much the greater part of the world, right? What an incredible entrepreneur that said, screw it, I'm going to take this personal. And then usually when you solve big problems, you get paid pretty big rewards. When Sam died, he has 4 kids and a wife. When he died in 1992, his wife and 4 kids became the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th wealthiest people in America. Talk about creating a lot of value and getting paid for it. Now, I want you guys to close your eyes for a second for me. Close your eyes for a second. Think about, again, your clients, your customers, your business, what you're doing. Think about the people that you interact with every day, coworkers, people around you. Think about the people standing next to you. Think about how your positive energy impacts them. Think about how your customers live a better life because of you. Now, think about, I'm guessing there's a few people just like a young Sam Walton that walked in today. I'm sure Sam in the 60s walked into an audience like this, walked around and said, man, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should take the risk. I don't know if I should try. Man, everyone's telling me I can't do it. Everyone's telling me this is a crazy idea to launch a distribution channel in rural areas. He had two options. And he decided to plunge in and go. So I want you to think for a second, the next 3 years, 5 years down the road, think about your businesses. Think about how you're going to grow. The things you're learning today, you're going to implement, you're going to scale. Think about the employees you're going to have, the people that you're going to hire, the people that you're going to bring on. Think about their lives, that you're feeding families. Think about your kids, how they're going to live a better life than you, how that you're going to find them. 7 years. Think about it. Think about how you can grow and expand from events like this, change the world. 10 years. Think about how you can bring it all together. People overestimate they can do in a year, they underestimate they can do in a decade. A lot can happen in a decade. Billions of dollars can be made in a decade. Think about it, put it together, really believe it, visualize. We saw other speakers talk about visualizing. Visualize where you're at. Smell it, taste it, hear what it feels like. Think about those people around you that you're impacting, the growth and the millions of people that need to hear your voice. And if you play small, how they'll never be impacted by you. Now, on the count of 3, I want you guys to make a noise how that feels like. Bring it all together. Think about the people that you've impacted. Think about the people around you, the people next to you. 2, think about how they're going to be together. How you're going to help them. How you're going to pull things together. How you're going to help those clients, giving them millions of people you're going to impact. You guys ready? On the count of 3, I want you to let it out like you feel like you just accomplished the entire thing. You ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, let it out. Let it go. Impacts you're going to have, your businesses will make. On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, let it go! That's your businesses, that's your life, that's what you can literally do. This is what we're made to do. This is why entrepreneurs are different. That's why you come on a Saturday morning to a room like this. And I love being around people like you, because we take things personally. We take problems upon ourselves. We don't take the status quo. That's what we do. Thank you guys so much. I'm Pennington. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Bye.